Everybody wants to talk about walking in your purpose, but not a lot of people are talking about the mourning and the grief that comes along with releasing an old identity or an older version of yourself. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Marquita. I'm a spiritual coach, I'm an author, and I'm also the host of the Alchemy Soul podcast. So if you're interested in checking that out, please be sure to check the description below. My intention for this video is to discuss with you all this sort of grievance process that occurs when you are in between phases of who you were and who you are becoming, right? I don't hear enough people talk about the grief. And the reason why I'm speaking about this today is because I'm currently in it. Just recently, and if you're new here, I just want to give you all a little background, just for background sake. I just recently moved out of the country 6 weeks ago, right? And nobody really talks about the grief that comes along with making such a huge life changing decision. I am currently working on building a few different lanes of businesses for myself, right? So I'm also like in this very like progressive moving forward, moving towards my north star, moving towards my north node kind of energy, right? And I recognize that the version of myself that I was before I decided to make these decisions, like she's being slowly released, right? She's being released. It's not happening overnight. It's happening like in time. It's happening as I am coming into realization of some of the patterns that I have held on to over the course of several years, right? And nobody really talks about this part of the journey where it's like I'm not quite where I want to be yet, right? I am becoming. You all are witnessing my becoming, right? You're witnessing my growth and my expansion. But there is this version of me that was comfortable, right? There is a version of me that was comfortable with being inconsistent. There's a version of me that was comfortable with, not being seen and me hiding. There is a version of myself that was comfortable with me not telling people, about my creativity and about me being an author and about me being a speaker, right? There was this version of me that allowed, people to just treat me any kind of way. There was a version of me who just allowed myself to continue to please other people just for the sake of trying to keep a relationship together. So, all of these things are coming up, right? All of these realizations of this is who I was, but this is not really who I want to be anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. There is a grievance with that, right? For me, I'm in a new country. I'm in a new environment. I'm lonely. I'm, sad. I'm grateful. I'm happy. I'm joyful. Like I have all of these, emotions that are coming up, and nobody talks about the part where all of a sudden there's just a wave of like sadness that just rushes over you and you don't even know where it came from, right? It just rushes over you. And all of a sudden, you're just sitting there, and you're just crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. I said, what is this about? What is this about? Like, what is the root of these feelings and of these emotions? Because I knew that it wasn't joy, right? I knew that it wasn't happiness and gratitude in that moment. And what because I am in a place where I am reflecting on my previous travel experiences. And I'm currently in a space where I'm like doing a lot of reflective work, a lot of intuitive work, and just a lot of remembering like of my power. I was like, I have to understand this, right? And so what spirit gave me like, this is grief, right? This is grief. It's not easy letting go of that comfort, right? It's not easy letting go of people. It's not easy letting go of, how people treated you. It's not easy letting go of just this version of myself. It's not easy, right? But it's like necessary, right? My soul my soul is going towards its North Star. My soul is going towards and gravitating towards what I need for this next version of my life. And my soul is releasing these other parts of it. And that's how I have to see it, right? This is a soul's evolution, right? Um, so reaching your highest goals actually comes with you sort of like unaliving this part of yourself, right? And what I said for myself, as I am in this grieving process, I said, baby, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hold a funeral. I'm going to hold a funeral for that version of myself. And, I created a video the other day and I was like, things are changing and I can feel it within myself, right? Like things are different. I am no longer okay with just like resting in my feminine energy, right? Like we know that the feminine energy is needed in order to create, right? We know that I know that the feminine energy for me is needed in order for me to take deliberate rest, right? And for me to just be in alignment with what I'm meant to do in life. But there's also now this version of myself like, okay, let's bring the masculine back in. Let's bring it back in. Like, because what I did was I kind of silenced it. I remember making a video and I was like, I want to be 90% feminine energy and 10% masculine. And now I'm sort of like, really, let's do like 60-40 at this point, And that version of myself, I have to release. I have to release the version of myself that was just resting and allowing the universe to just cradle me, right? Which it was. It absolutely was, right? Everything was taken care of to a certain extent at all points in time, right? But now I want more, right? Like now I want to expand my life and reach towards things that I, you know, can't even imagine that I may want for myself, right? That's where I'm at in life. And so if I am in a place where I am wanting to expand outside of that, it's going to require a different version of myself, right? And I said that I am going to give a funeral to that woman, the woman that has brought me to this moment, into this space at this moment in time. I'm going to hold a funeral for her, right? A celebration of life, so to speak, because she endured so much to get me to this point. She awakened so much to get me to this point. So she deserves her flowers, right? But while I'm simultaneously doing that, I'm also releasing. I'm honoring and releasing. And so that is really important to me. We all know that when you are growing and when you are stepping into a newer version of yourself, there is like this romanticizing of the experience. Rightfully so, right? It should feel good. It should feel like you are doing what's best for you in your evolution and growth. But growth 100% can also feel very chaotic. Growth can also feel like an identity crisis, right? Because now, who am I becoming? Who am I? It's so funny because when I first began my spiritual awakening journey and back in 2016 or something like that, the question that helped me awaken in my spiritual journey was, who am I? Who am I? Right? And me repeatedly asking myself that as I look myself in the eyes, in the mirror, like it awakened something within me. And it's like we have these like moments where we go to one level, but you have to get to that level and it's like an initiation, so to speak. And you are in this initiation phase and you have to awaken again, right? So you have to learn who you are at this level, right? And that's where I'm at in the journey as well. I'm like, who who is this woman? Because I like her. I like her, but in the same breath, it's like, ugh, I can't just stay in the bed all day. Like I can, but it has to be very strategic. You know what I mean? Because I have other things that I want to work on and work towards. Growth is an identity crisis because now you are having to learn who this new version of you is. Like what is required of you in order to accomplish whatever it is you're trying to accomplish in this season. Yeah, so you're going to be learning like who are you when you are not the dependable one? Who are you when you are not the people pleaser? Who are you when you are not the provider of the money? Who are you when you are not saving and rescuing everybody? Like who are you? When you let go of all of these identities and attachments that people have, equated you to, and you decide for yourself that you want to, be somebody different. You don't want to do those things anymore. Now, who are you? Like, what replaces that? And once you find that out, it's evidence that those those pieces of yourself are no longer in alignment with the new identity. And so briefly I'm going to talk about alignment because alignment, is not always going to feel like sunshine and rainbows either. Like sometimes alignment can feel very disorienting because your nervous system is used to this version of yourself, right? Your nervous system is used to you responding in a certain way. So when you decide that you don't want to be this version of yourself anymore and you decide for yourself that you are going to take a different route and respond in a different way, that is a shock to your nervous system, right? It's also a shock to the ego, right? The ego is like, oh, that's not who we are anymore. Like, that's not okay. We're not doing that no more. And this is how you transcend the ego, right? Like, this is how you move beyond the box of safety. And what you have always done is by, making sure that you are deliberately like changing the algorithm, so to speak. Yeah, because that's what it is. You are upgrading. You know what I'm saying? And as you are upgrading the system, then the algorithm changes. And so this is the reason why sometimes people quit right before the breakthrough. It's because the ego in the nervous system, you get to that point and you're like, "Ooh, I'm about to jump over. I'm about to jump over," and it's scary. You can get to that point and you can stop because it's so scary to break through. You know, it's so scary to break through what you have always known. And some people are not able to do so. But it can get very chaotic because of that, because like your mind and your nervous system and everything is going haywire because now you're trying to do something different. You're trying to do something new. And so release the version of you that no longer aligns, right? They did what they had to do to get you to this point. They protected you, they loved you, they saw you, they taught you what you needed to learn in that particular season. They taught you what you needed to learn in order to become a better version of yourself in the future. I always, try to look to my higher self for guidance because I know that time doesn't exist, right? Like I know, this might sound a little woo woo, whatever. I don't care, but I know that there are versions of myself like in existence, right? So I can reach towards my higher self for guidance at all points in time, right? I'm not really reaching back to my past too much. I do inner child work, and little Marquita, she's very happy and proud of me right now as I speak to you all. But I don't reach too much in the past, but she's there, right? Teenage Marquita, she's there. Even the Marquita I was 6 weeks ago, she's still there, right? Like they don't totally go away, right? That's how we're able to fall back into old habits because they don't totally go away. However, when you are deciding that you want to do a new routine and create a new reality, you can look towards your higher self, right? Like you can look towards the higher version of you for that guidance. And you can do that during meditation. You can do that while journaling. You can do a voice note or just talking it out on camera like this. Whatever you need for yourself, there's always a version of you that's higher that knows what's best for you, even at this stage, right? And so that's pretty much all I have to say to you all. If you all resonated with anything that I said today, please be sure to leave it in the comments. Again, my name is Marquita. I'm here every single day. So if you're interested in following along my journey, please be sure to subscribe. And I will see you all back here again tomorrow. Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls.